So, I think that we both had an experience Saturday night. Maybe you want to. You can share your perspective. I'll share my perspective. The framework is very simple. Fred and I have been friends with and been the benefactors of our relationship with the Mirvish people for a long time. Fred said, "Hey, let's. I see that Come From Away is coming back to town. You want to go see it? I'll reach out." We did. He did. We had a great night planned. And Fred said, "Hey, why don't we get the girls, Doll and girlfriend Rachel? We'll go out and have a nice dinner before." Sure, let's do that. Rachel found a place in downtown Toronto.
Yeah, she did.
Rachel found a place. And I said, "Wow, it looks expensive." But Freddie's all... Just so you know, from the first moment we suggested this place, all I heard from the Fred man was this: "Don't even worry about it. Price is no object. Don't even worry about it. Don't even look at the menu. The price is on the menu."
Well, once it was decided where we were going, I did a review of the prices, and I thought a little pricey, but downtown Toronto, near the theater,
manageable,
on just off Yonge Street.
Yeah. So that was just a little bit that I had come up with. Money is no object, don't. And I knew it was going to be a bit pricey, but we had scanned the
different
menu, and it was, it was, what would you say, 30-40% more expensive maybe than the average restaurant, or I don't know.
Well, I looked at it. Listen, I thought it was expensive, to be honest with you. The entrees were not $35, they were $45 and $50.
Right.
But I don't drink.
It was going to be a special night.
It was going to be a special night. Right. We were going to take some, we have a little company here. I think we've mentioned last year was our best year ever. Listen, we're not getting rich doing this, but we're not going out of business anytime soon. And Fred and I have been talking to each other about, we don't really spend a lot of money on ourselves, and we were going to take the girls out for dinner. I will tell you this, though. I saw, because the numbers beside the menu were not 35, they were closer to 50. You do a quick bit of math. I don't drink. And so, it was going to cost a few $100s to go out for dinner. A few. Here's what I want to ask, though. What did you think
I told you I did the quick math. Four of us at around $50, and then some drinks, and then maybe a couple appetizers. I thought probably somewhere between $300 and $400,
right.
which in my world is a lot of money.
Yeah, and in my world as well.
Yeah, I mean, you go downtown, you're exposed to the downtown prices a little more than I am.
Yes,
at least aware of them. But even some of the diners and stuff you go to are expensive. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't pay those prices in Brampton. So again, I did a quick thing in my head. And I thought, we'll probably be $3-something. That's expensive, but what the hell?
Now, when you said, let's go downtown, let's have a fancy dinner, I will tell you, my mind was it's going to cost us more like $400 or $500.
Yeah, see, that's the Brampton Bob coming out in me.
And to be fair, I still thought that was okay. I thought there's four of us. Mm-hmm. By the time those guys have drinks, like Fred had couple beers, a glass of wine, and that was $50. Because close. Well, because two beers were $10. Mm-hmm. I think the glass of wine was $20.
No, 2 beers they were $12 each.
Okay, so
which
25.
Bothers me. Honestly, though, which bothers me because it was a Goose Island IPA, which is a nice beer. You pay almost $10 for those now in regular bars.
Premium.
And I thought it said $10.
Well,
I never saw 12.
But your 2 drinks, this is just your 2 drinks and a glass of wine. Mm-hmm. The wine was got to be 17 to 20.
Yeah, like where does that come from?
Well, so reviewing just your drinks alone is $50 ish. So you had 2 drinks, that's $50. I had no drinks, but I had like a lemonade and a soda water and whatever.
Probably $8.
And Doll had 1 glass of booze, and Rachel had 2.
Well, how about this? The tonic water you had was $5.50.
Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm. How bizarre is that? A Virgin Caesar, so a glass of
Clamato juice,
$7. But see, I don't. where I go for dinner, if Delise has a Caesar, it's $6 or $7.
Right.
You know what I mean?
How much was my Virgin Caesar?
7.
Okay.
Delise's Caesar was 16.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, that's just stupid.
Okay. It is stupid.
But what's more stupid is the fact that I had no idea. Ordering this stuff, just assuming it's a little more expensive.
Right.
But not that.
So, again, to be fair, I knew it was going to be a little more expensive than you thought it was going to be.
Right.
But I also, what we're about to reveal is something that was more expensive than either of us had ever heard of. We're going to tell you this story, including the most expensive entree I've ever heard of. Never seen it. So, given the background of these numbers we're telling you, that Caesars are 17 and beer is 12 and wine is 20, a glass of wine.
Well, the wine is 16 and 18.
Yeah. So those are the numbers we're dealing with. Now, I'll tell you what I had. By the way, it doesn't even matter the name of the place because it's not the place's fault. This is just who those people are and what they charge. I mean, if you're going to go to Jacob's Steakhouse or you're going to go to Morton's or you're going to go to, what's a Bymark? No, I'm talking about fancy restaurants.
fancy.
Bymark or other Mark McEwen place, North 44, whatever it's called. What if you're going to go to those places in the big city, a glass of wine can be $18. It's a glass of wine.
I do have a bone to pick, but I'll explain it later about the place. But from that standpoint.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was even close to the best meal I'd ever had. Like it wasn't.
No, mine was excellent.
Yeah, no, yours. But as far as don't get me wrong, whether it was worth it or not, I certainly it was nowhere near my favorite meal for that kind of money.
No, I get it. I know what you're saying.
I ordered this beef short rib. The entree itself was $48. Rachel ordered some fish. Her entree was $35. My sides was this cauliflower with cheese. It was $15. And I had an appetizer of more cheese. It was $25, along with my soda water or whatever, tonic water.
Right.
Mine was $100 or so, right?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Same with Rachel. Rachel's was around $125. And Fred and Delise decide to order the lobster. Fred?
Your Fredador.
Well, they had these. They had down the side. Or no, I guess it was a special that night. They had these entrees for two. And then she went through them, and then there was the lobster with risotto. It was a 3-pound lobster risotto something for two. And the other dishes for two are around, I don't know, 80, 90, 100, whatever.
There was one shareable, they called it, for two.
Yeah.
Looked pretty good. I was actually thinking about it. It was $110 to share for two people. Now remember, my entree was $50, so sharing two would be like
So it's
a
like $55.
It was like a $55. We thought it was going to be something in that realm.
But the lobster said market price. But listen, I'm a guy that orders seafood. When it says market price, it's usually a little bit more than the other stuff on the menu. So nowhere, and again, this is just, not being exposed to this stuff, because I'm not. I just don't go to these type of restaurants. It said market price. So at that point, I should have said to her, oh, by the way, what is market price? But I did not. I just assumed it would be a little bit more, and the lobster looked good, and I'm sitting here, and how often do I have lobster? Yeah, let's have the lobster. What bothers me at that point, she probably should have, because it wasn't displayed, the price, she probably should have said, oh, and that costs this.
Is that your bone to pick?
A bit.
Yeah.
Only because if it was moderately more or something, and then you could make that determination.
Oh, I see what you're
saying. It was
saying.
so distinctly higher, so outrageously higher. There should have been some kind of tip-off, but there wasn't.
Well, and you're right. It never occurred to me either. I've never asked what that was. I always just assume market prices. We're too embarrassed to tell you how much that is. It's like market price means it's so much more. if you have to ask for it, you can't afford it.
Yes.
Joke. I'm kidding.
No, I know what you mean.
But-
but in essence, it's because they don't quite know what
They
it's
don't know
coming
day
in.
to day what it is.
What it's coming in at.
That's when market price means whatever we can get it for when we bring it in that day.
Right.
But to your point, which is true, the market price of this item was so much more than it would have. But the kind of people that go in there, like I looked around, nobody was worrying about market price in that restaurant.
No.
Except for us.
Because if she had told me, if I had said, "Oh, by the way, what's the market price?" and she told me, I would. Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What else are we gonna have?
Yeah. How about,
I would not have ordered it. But let me tell you, it was very, very, very good.
So what they do is they take a lobster, they cook it, and then they put the meat aside. Then they make the risotto, and inside their lobster shell, they bring the lobster meat and the risotto back together, put it in the shell, put that back, and cook it some more.
Right.
Amazing. So let's see if Sean and Phil. Let's play. What do you think the entree was? So knowing that mine was 50. Rachel's was 35 or 40.
Right.
That some of the more expensive shareables were 100.
110. Yeah.
And it was just the lobster?
Just the lobster. What do you, Sean from Georgetown, what do you think
great.
the lobster for two at the restaurant Thursday night? What's the number you think?
90. I wouldn't go
What do you
higher
mean
than 100. 90 bucks for both?
Well,
For two?
no, we just told you that.
Yeah, lobster for two.
No, we told you that some of the other shareables were 100.
Oh, geez, 110 max. I've never seen anything more on a menu, so
Okay.
I don't know.
And we've already told you that it's
It was
way
way
more
more than
expensive
that.
than that.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
That's
I'm out to lunch here.
okay, Sean.
They don't serve lobster at McDonald's anymore.
So what about you, Phil? What do you think that entree for two, the shareable?
Right. A lobster of that quality, maybe 230, 250.
Fred Patterson?
Well, here's what happened. The bill came. And she plunks it down. And I was putting it on my Visa. And again, my mind's somewhere 3 to 4. And I look down quick and I do a double take. And it's $629.
600. Wait, so our full and I'm sitting next to Fred across from Dahl and Rachel, and Fred just puts it down in between us and he says, "Look at this," and I was like, "Wow."
And the thing is, so I think there's a mistake. I'm thinking she's given me somebody else's, and I quickly grab it, and then I'm going down 16, 24, 20, 15. Oh, by the way, my valet parking's on this too, which was good. And then I see 225 lobster for two, $225.
$225.
You could fly to Vancouver and buy a lobster at that price.
$225, Sean.
So then my heart sinks. Because I'm thinking, oh, what have we done? And you know what the problem was? That was a great dinner because we got these mushrooms with it too. They were
Oh my God,
they were
the
outstanding.
side, plus you got mushrooms, and then you got this salad that goes with it. It was just
Yeah, but that salad wasn't extra. That
no, I know.
came
I'm
with the
saying
lobster.
it went
yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Great. They gave you a salad with their 225 lobs. 225.
Here's the problem with that. And it's just where you belong and what your financial status is and on and on and on. I really enjoyed that meal. The minute I saw the 225, I didn't enjoy it so much. You know what I mean? Like it was, understand what I'm saying? Like it was really good and I was in a good mood. We're going to the thing. That was a great meal. And then the bill comes, you look at that 225 and it's like, that was good, but it wasn't that good.
No.
They didn't drop the lobster.
And by
from
the way, one of the
helicopter.
reasons I don't want to mention the name of the place, because
Why?
I'm going to tell you something. Regardless of the 225 lobster, and you enjoyed your, believe me, while he was eating it, him and Delise, very, very enjoyable. My food, not worth it. Sorry.
Right.
It just
No,
wasn't.
that's fine.
I-
Yeah.
It really, and I eat out, obviously, I eat in restaurants all the time. That $50 entree, for me, wasn't very good. It was well cooked, and I'm sure delicious, but it just wasn't my flavor.
Right.
I didn't like the cauliflower with cheese and the cheesy whatever burrata cheese I had as an appetizer. Again, not my favorite. So I tasted your lobster. It was fantastic. And I almost got it. That's what I said to him after. I said, I was looking at that thinking, maybe I'd like that too. Thinking it was like $100. Because we're out, listen, I was trying to tell you, we wanted to do this because we never do this for each other.
Sure.
And we rarely go out together and with our lady people. But it was, I felt bad for you because when I'd never, and I started laughing because I thought, listen, man, don't worry about it because we're going to get $225 worth of content out of this mofo. $225 for food.
Oh my God.
Well,
For one dish.
it's here I am, 62 years old, and it took this long to learn that lesson. I went to Jacob's Steakhouse some time ago with my buddy Darren. And he had a $250 gift certificate that the people at work had given him. It was very
Yeah,
nice,
yeah,
and
very
he
nice.
invited me. So I looked at the prices, and I knew it was going to be expensive. So I said, listen, I'll look after the override. Well, it was like a couple of guys having steaks and a couple of beers and wine, and it still cost like $150. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I
So you
should
have a meal for $400.
but the thing is, I knew it was all there in front of me. I knew what it was going to cost.
Yeah.
What bother? If that had come and it was like 125, 130, even then I would have gone, woo, for two. Even that's 60, 65 each. The 130 would have taken me aback, even though it was for two. You know what I mean? Just seeing that on a bill.
Oh, yes.
For a meal. Even like, but honestly, here's how naive I am. I didn't even think it would be like 75 each, like 150. I just didn't.
Yeah.
I just didn't.
To be honest with you, I didn't either.
I thought if your beef is like $50, what's lobster?
Sure.
60, 65. I don't know. But I just,
Well, think of it this way. One lobster in a fancy restaurant like that could easily be $50 or $60.
yeah.
So you had basically 3 pounds of lobster, which is usually a lobster is a pound, right?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Ish.
Is it? Okay.
So you had 3 pounds of lobster. Anyway, none of us were doing that math before the bill came. So check it out. The bill is...
Do you not think it, given that she should have maybe said it, and by the way, the market price is $225 in that tonight.
Oh, yeah. yeah,
You'd think she would,
Yes.
especially looking at us like just a bunch of yokels from, from the suburbs. So the bill was $629 with tip.
Which was 15. I didn't
So
leave 20.
$700.
Yeah.
What was the final bill?
I don't even know. I just got the rundown here.
Well, here, I'll do it
yeah,
for
you. Well, you can do it.
I'll do the math.
Holy moly.
So 629 times 0.15 equals. So it's basically $730.
Yeah.
It's kind of what you spent on that lobster is kind of what I spent on a month's worth of food.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, we know.
But
Same with us,
I
by
can't
the
even.
way.
That just
Same with us.
That's mind-boggling
I'll
that
tell
even
you,
existed.
I'll tell you now, it will never ever happen again, because I don't care. Listen, here's the thing, at $225, seriously, it was good, but it wasn't that good.
No.
Now I don't know if there's any good that qualifies for $225. I don't know what that is. Or it's your mindset or your financial situation or what. But I'm telling you, if I have a lot of money, if I'm one of those Bay Street guys that was sitting in there that night, I'm still not big on spending $225 for a 3-pound lobster. I'm not.
You're not, but you think about those. If you make millions of dollars, spending $225 in a lobster is like Sean spending $225 on a deck of smokes or whatever he buys.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, but that's you. When you say you're not big on it, obviously neither am I. But we don't know what it's like to buy. To have a world where items are just, it doesn't matter what it costs.
But does that mean if you're buying an $80,000 car, you don't care if somebody charges $130? Like when you're that rich, I don't know either. I don't.
Here's the thing: if you had a lot of money, spending $225 in lobsters would be like, yeah, whatever. What were the lobsters? I could care less. When you don't have a lot of money like us, it was so outrageous. It's all we've been talking about together and separately since Thursday night.
And the thing,
we had phone calls, we've done email. Honestly, you have no idea. He and I have called each other. We've emailed back and forth. He's so. He felt bad because our entree wasn't as much as their entree.
the thing is too, and not to put this on my wife, but she's so sweet. When she said, "Oh, I wouldn't mind having the lobster," I thought, "Oh, okay. Well, if you want to get the lobster, I'm in." You know, but if she'd have ordered something else, like I forget what else she was looking at. At one point, I think she was even thinking of having the avocado stuffed with crab as an entree.
Yeah.
And I don't even think that was $30.
No, yeah.
So there's at one point she goes, "Oh, I wouldn't mind having the lobster." I thought, "Oh, okay, then I'll share that with you."
Still crustacean, right?
It may
Oh,
not.
yeah, exactly.
It may not even have been my first choice. Oh, and I'll tell you another thing I had was the octopus. It was fabulous as an appetizer. The
Listen,
octopus was so good.
Everything you ate, you enjoyed.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it to be part of. It was okay. It just wasn't the best thing I've had for $50 as an entree. I'll tell you, if I'd had something that cost $2.25 and enjoyed it on the same level as my short rib or whatever I had, it wasn't that good. Anyway.